Hi everyone, Rach here from Rara Stitching Realm. Welcome to my first Quilty Tube video. I am a Kiwi crafter, I guess, if you've never seen a video of mine before. I am lumping Quilty Tube in with my Floss Tube videos rather than creating a separate channel. So if you have stumbled upon this and you want to follow my quilting progress, the videos will clearly be labelled Quilty Tube as opposed to Floss Tube for cross stitching. You're not obliged to watch the one that doesn't apply to you. I know that there are some of my cross stitch viewers who are not really interested in the quilting side of things, so I've decided to take them the quilting out of the Floss Tube videos and have its own video. I'm estimating that I'll probably do a quilt tube video, there's a tongue tie, once a month, give or take. It depends on how prolific I am, but this is my interest at the moment. So we will see. So I thought I would start this first video off with it's mostly a show and tell. I am new to quilting. I wanted to make a quilt for many years. In fact, about 10 years ago I made a quilt from some baby clothes for a child I used to care for in England. And if I can find a picture that doesn't include her, because I know there are several that include her, I'll stick it in. Otherwise you'll just have to take my word for it. In the process of making that quilt, I brought a sewing machine. I think I stupidly decided I might do it by hand, but it was a bit of a mess, so I unpicked it and I brought a sewing machine, and then just whipped it up. It was rectangles of clothing basically, so as I say, if I can find a picture I'll add it in. If not, that was my first experience 10 years ago. If you are new to me, I care for my mother who has dementia and who has recently had a stroke now. So I was living in the UK for many years and I came back to care for her. So I've been back now 9 years, I think. 2013 I came back. So 8 years and a bit so far. It'll be 9 this year and so on. But before I left England in 2013, I went to the most wonderful craft show at Alexandra Palace. I don't know if they're as good as they used to be. I have seen one video recently. And I brought a whole lot of fat quarters because I want to make a quilt. So I came home with a bunch of fat quarters that I haven't done much with. So fast forward to a couple of years ago, and my sewing basically was project bags for cross stitch and finishing small cross stitch. I don't think I can. So, you know, just stitching stuff together like that. So that's where we were at. But I still wanted to make a quilt. So the first thing I think I brought that started me on this journey in this recent, I don't know how to explain it. I should point out, I try to not make, I try to be a one-take wonder where I can, but I will edit as necessary. But I don't like to do lots of chopping and changing and editing. I'm still learning my editing program, so sometimes when I go or I correct my words, I'm not going to edit that out, I'm just going to carry on. So the first thing I got was this book I picked up locally in the town I live in, and I've pored over it and I've really enjoyed reading it, but I haven't made anything from it yet. But it is earmarked for one of my projects for this year. So that was the first thing that I got. The other thing I just might point out, jumping around, is obviously if you watch my Floss Tube, I am in a completely different spot to where I normally am. I'm trying to have a nicer, less chaotic backdrop. So I've spent a lot of time over the last 10 days or so since my mother's been home, cleaning up my mess behind me. I normally sit just over there, and you might see these cupboards in the back and a whole lot of crap on here which I have packed away. So this is a work in progress as well, and it will just slowly evolve. Anyway, last year, somewhere along the line, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, I discovered the Fat Quarter Shop. Now I don't know if it's because I stumbled upon a video, or it was probably watching Priscilla and Chelsea, the housewives of Cross Stitch. Names are not good. And so I went looking, and I ended up placing a bit of an order, and I picked up some, if I can do this, I've got a whole pile of stuff down here with no real plans in mind. I just decided to see what the buying process from them was like with shipping to New Zealand, basically. It's good. Anyway, in that first order a couple of months ago, I think it's a year, it might even be 2 years ago. Catch up, yes, I saw that went a bit blurry. So I picked up, this is Miriam Bright. I'm not sure who the designer is. Does it tell me on the back? It's a Riley Blake, Danny Mogstad. Excuse the cellophane still on it. I was trying to keep it. So I had no plans for that, but I brought it anyway because I like Christmas. And then I got Orchard by April Rosenthal. And I have actually mucked around with this pile, so that's probably not the original cover, but I haven't done anything with that. A Cora Yoda I didn't realise I had, so those two were layer cakes. So this is Flour Mill by Cora Yoda, so you can probably date when I bought this book if you know these kits better than me, or these fabric lines better than me. So again, other than looking at the fabric, I haven't actually done anything with it. So that's a charm pack. And then this one is Desert Bloom by Sherry and Chelsea, which I did try to make something. You can see there's a square there, but it didn't work, so I think it got binned. So those were my first purchases 12 to 18 months ago. Apart from obviously the fat quarters that I brought back from England, but I'm not going to show you each and every one of those. So fast forward to last year, late last year, and I how do I explain this? I have long held a dream of having a self-sufficient homestead. As I get older, I'm realizing that I have to alter that dream, so I am now working that dream into a backyard rather than acreage. And one of the things that I stocked up on last year was canning jars, and we actually have a supplier in New Zealand of ball canning jars. So I had brought, I actually brought 4 cases of pint jars. In fact, the camera is sitting on 2 of them now to get the height. In watching lots of canning videos, I was aware that everybody was taking their hot jars out of the canner and putting them on a mat on the bench, and I went, ooh, I could make a quilted mat. That could be something, and that is what started the ball rolling. So this is the one here. The only thing I can show you, I did make one other thing, but unfortunately it's packed away now. So I made a quilted mat. I couldn't even tell you the dimensions. I just probably based it off the backing fabric actually, which is part of the same line. So this is Sanctuary by Three Sisters, I think. I don't have the card handy at the moment, and I brought it as a jelly roll. In the town I live in, which is a satellite town to a major city in New Zealand, we actually have 2 quilting shops. One is more dedicated quilting, and the other is a a bit of everything, I think. I haven't, they've just moved locations again, and I haven't been in to just see where they're at, because yeah, I just haven't been in since I started doing this. The jelly roll I actually brought at the other quilting shop in the town. So one thing I'm finding, and I don't know if it's just here in my location and in other parts of New Zealand they're better, we don't get a lot of the pre-cuts. And at the moment I like the pre-cuts because it's all matching. And it's already done for you like that, and you just then need the extra yardage for your backgrounds and whatever. But anyway, back to this. So I can't tell you the size of it, I just eyeballed it, as I say, probably based on the backing fabric, and then I just made a scrappy binding. It's probably better to see on the back, a scrappy binding from lengths of the jelly roll, and I'm pretty pleased with that. I quilted it on my machine. And the only thing, and I don't know if I can show it clearly enough, it might show up on this grey line, is I didn't get the needle in the right place to stitch in the ditch, and so I just made sure that every line was basically the same, so it's consistent even though it's not pretty. But it's going to be a canning mat. It's going to get stuff sloshed on it. It's got Insulbrite, is that how you say it? I managed to get that off the roll here in New Zealand. I was surprised about that as well, because I was thinking I'm going to have to order some of this stuff in, but I didn't have to. So once I made this, I then thought this is too pretty to spill tomato products on it. So my goal is to make a red one that I can use when I'm canning tomato products, and then if I spill tomato on it, it's no big deal. So I still have a big chunk of that jelly roll left. I didn't touch the whites at all, and then some more of the backing fabric. So I am thinking with this is kind of jumping into my plans, but since it's handy in this box at the moment, I am thinking that I might do the jelly roll jackpot quilt that I saw Kimberly make from Fat Quarter Shop, and she used a whole jelly roll. I'll use obviously less, so mine won't be as big. That's my first thought at the moment, to use up that, is to do that, because I do like the colours in it, obviously. So that was around about November, and then I'm like, oh, I like this and I can do this, and I need more stuff, so I went shopping. And I went shopping on the Fat Quarter Shop and paid the exorbitant shipping to New Zealand and all of that malarkey, but part of it is I just can't get the pre-cuts, and I'm not sure, without going and looking closely, a lot of what I've brought I don't think I've seen on the shelves in New Zealand. So obviously the taste of your average quilter in New Zealand is different to my taste, unfortunately. So, but that's okay. I've got enough to be going on with now. Got to stop buying. So I started out buying some Bonnie and Camille. So I got a, this is Sunday Stroll jelly roll. Very pretty colours. I've got no plans for this at this point in time. I did pick up this here. There was a pop-up sort of discount fabric thing that I went to, and I did pick up this charm pack, which I thought I would use just to, it was like really cheap, practice blocks and things on, so I don't waste that nicer stuff. I would use that to practice on. So along with that Sunday Stroll, so that I think I got off Amazon. Amazon does sell, they obviously have, you know, the little shops within the Amazon umbrella, and there's some pre-cut fabric places. There's a lot of probably crap fabric which I won't go near. I'm probably a bit snobby and things like that. I like a recognised brand. So, and if I can afford to do it at the moment, that's my choice. So I picked up that, I think, from Amazon. And I also picked up, I need to look at the right, let me do these two things and then we'll go back to the fabric. Excuse me, one moment. Whew, okay, I had to stop there for a minute, otherwise I would have coughed my guts up. I've brought in some water. Okay, let's go back. So I was ordering some things from Amazon. I ordered from Amazon some books. This Bonnie and Camille book. And as you can see, I've got something marked, but I can't remember what it is. And just a Camille book, Simply Retro. So those two came from Amazon. I think in the first order from the Fat Quarter Shop, I actually got Farm Girl Vintage as well, which is just great for inspiration. I mean, look at the pile on the back. And just while I've got these in my hand, locally, goodness, I don't know what's going on. Locally, I was able to pick up this Christmas book, which this quilt on the back is stunning on the border there. A bit out of my league at the moment. And a quilting magazine, which I probably will. I'm trying not to hoard magazines, so I will probably go through at some point and take out any patterns that I want to keep and then ditch. That's quite a cool quilt, but I think curves are a bit beyond me at the moment. Alright, let me just do a couple of notions. I did get a design board from the Fat Quarter Shop. I basically wanted to see how well it would travel, like how it would come in a box and would it be alright. It's a 10-inch one, and really I actually would like a 12 or 13-inch one, so I am toying with making one. I don't know yet. And I did buy a this is a 12.5-inch rotating cutting mat. I don't think I can show how it rotates in this angle. I have a very limited space to cut. In fact, the surface that I cut on is what the camera is sitting on. And then I've got to clear that away and set the sewing machine up on that. So the only thing I have brought furniture-wise for the quilting so far is a set of wire drawers, which there are 4 baskets, and that cutting mat has a good 1/2 inch or more on each side of it laying flat inside, so it's about a good 13-inch width, which is why I quite like a bigger couple of bigger design board, because they could sit in that drawer quite easily. And what I've decided with them is that there's basically going to be the projects on the go, and that's it. I'm not to start anything else other than what is in those drawers. And I think off the top of my head at the moment, or my plan at the moment, is the top drawer is all my small projects. So the red canning mat, the rest of this jelly roll, and something that I'll show you shortly. And then I've got sort of 3 larger quilt ideas going on, which I'll show you in a moment, in each of the other drawers. And I can't start anything new until I have emptied a drawer. That is the plan. Will it work out that way? I really don't know. I've got to get going, really. So, okay, let's, I kind of have jumped a bit, and I think I'll just show you my plans now with the fabric that I've got. And then I think that is everything at the moment. I've been buying rulers, but I don't think I need to show you rulers. I've got various sizes. I think that's all that I need to go over. So I will just show you. I've got some projects and some project bags that I brought from another maker here in New Zealand. So this I started in December, and then my it's leaking thread. Then my sewing machine went, I've had enough actually. Yeah, I've been on holiday for 10 years and you want me to work again? I don't think so. So I was like, oh great. And I had got as far, I'll show you how far I had got, and then I'm like, well, shall I just hand stitch it to finish it? And I tried that and I didn't like, because I can't get my stitches small enough and pretty enough. So it was just before Christmas, so I waited till after Christmas, and then then my mother had the stroke, and then I had a day. I was actually sent home from the hospital by the doctors and said, go home early and don't come back tomorrow, come back the day after and just have a break. Because I'm her memory and her advocate and her voice and all of that, so I had to be there when all the doctors were doing things. So anyway, I digress. So on one of those days I took the sewing machine in to the local shop and said, can you repair it or service it? And they did, and it turned out it just needed a jolly good service and clean and an oil, and I think there was one screw too tight. So I was very pleased for not really being used for 10 years for it really to have no major issues. So it's a Singer Tradition 2250. It's no top of the range machine at all. I got it at Argos in England 10 years ago, and the lady who helped me with it initially said she's still working on a 30-year-old machine, so you know, touch wood, it doesn't have fancy bells and whistles and you know, or anything like that. If I can get another 10 years out of it, I'll be happy. So it is back, but I haven't fired it up yet because I've been dealing with everything with coming home from the hospital. So I am part way through a project, and that project is is this page 1? No, where's page 1? This is a free pattern off the Fat Quarter Shop, and it's the Mini Charming Christmas quilt pattern. Can you see that alright? So I think I discovered it in a video that Fat Quarter Shop did. It was in the background or something like that. So I decided that I would do, now what's the process of events with this? When I was ordering from America, I was like, I'm going to do a search in New Zealand and see where I can get some pre-cuts from, and I found a place that had this is an older Sweetwater Christmas line called Overnight Delivery, and they had this charm pack and they had a jelly roll, and they were both discounted. So I bought both of them. So obviously I haven't touched the charm pack yet. The jelly roll, how am I going to do this? If I take that pile out, be careful, I'm going to get hit with pins. So obviously the jelly roll has been broken into and used. And then if I get out that, put that there. I think I've cut that already. And that. So once I found, did that bump the camera? I apologise. Once I found these, I obviously then went looking, which is when I discovered this was an older line. But in my research I discovered that they use a lot of the same colours, so I got some backing fabric and binding fabric from the Red Barn Christmas line to do with these. So what I have got so far, none of these are joined together. So we've got the top of the tree, finding spaces. I tried very hard to get the word joy to fit in there. That's row 2. Row 3, and yes, I probably need to be cutting off all these scraps, but I haven't done it yet. Row 3. Row 4. Again, trying to fit piece in. It's almost there. The P is better on the back because it's in the seam allowance. Now, what have we got here? This must be the next row. It all needs to be ironed again. I think that's the bottom row of the tree because there's no extra white at the ends. And then the tree trunk. So those all need to be joined together, and then all the rest of the stuff is done. I've got my homemade alphabetes. I'm resisting buying any because this is just jumping. I have signed up for the Designer Mystery Block of the Month with the Nantucket Summer, and in reading all the blurb I've gone, did I just drop a pin? No, bit of fluff. In reading all the stuff, you actually get some alphabetes in that, so I'm like, I'm not going to buy any because I'm getting some. There should be all I need, surely. Someone can tell me I'm wrong. So for the backing fabric, I have got this. Take it out. I like the bags that the Fat Quarter Shop send their stuff in is really good too, nice and thick. So this says "Oh Holy Night," which is my favourite carol. And then for the binding, I've gone for this check, or it's actually a cross stitch. So I think that'll look quite good on the back. So alright, so that's the first thing I need to finish. Ooh, be careful of bumping the camera. Okay, then at the point that I was buying a lot of this stuff, my machine hadn't packed up, so I was planning on. So the next thing I want to work on is a plus sign quilt. I'm going to make, and if I can find a picture with where I can at least acknowledge the credit the photographer, basically is what I'm trying to spit out. I will put one in, but you can find them on Pinterest quite easily. It's where I found it. I've just been looking at all the quilts on Pinterest and picking things. So again, in another bag that was made by someone here in New Zealand, I have gone for Shine On by Bonnie and Camille, and once I decided on I think I had brought one of these with the jelly roll off Amazon, and once I decided that this is what I was going to do, I brought 4 more, because basically I'm just going to use make my plus sign from these squares of the charm pack. For the backing fabric, I have bought that, which is stunning, and the binding is going to be that red and white stripe. So I think that'll look quite good. My only fly in the ointment is that I haven't brought enough backing fabric. At the time that I brought that fabric, in the videos I was watching, I didn't know enough, if you like. In the videos I was watching, everyone was talking about 3 yards, whereas now I get the impression that you want to have at least 5 yards of fabric for your back. there is on the Fat Quarter Shop, I haven't printed it off yet because I only found it the other day, there is a sheet for backing, and it gives you quilt sizes and how much you need for the various quilt sizes. So I think 3 yards is a lap quilt, which is fine, but I'm hoping, I can't remember how much of the stripe I brought. I'm hoping there might be enough stripe and enough charm squares to maybe just make that back a little bit bigger, and so it'll be a bit more patchworky on the back as well. I'll see. I won't know until I get going, really. So that's the next project off the rank, cab off the rank. Then another one that I'd like to get to. Did I show all my mess behind me just then? Probably. When I was looking up for the stuff for the Sweetwater overnight delivery, I discovered Red Barn Christmas. I think also I coincided at the same time I saw some quilts maybe on the Fat Quarter Shop, so I was interested in that line too, and I discovered that well, no, I didn't discover. So I just brought a, I've got them all in bags because of the, until I only got these drawers on Friday, it's Sunday now. So I got a layer cake, and I also got a charm pack. Then I got, okay, so I have got more of the checked for the binding, and there wasn't a lot of options left in yardage, because I was late to the party with this, so all the the more popular yardage had already gone, but I got this one in the green, which is fine. I'm quite happy with that, and again I can't remember how much yardage I've bought of that, and I also ordered, I discovered that Sweetwater use porcelain Bella Solid as their backgrounds in all their colours, all their lines. So I think I ordered about 3 yards of that just to have plenty of it, and it will always get used up. So my plan for this, now I have settled on a plan, is to do the square and square quilt with the layer cake, and then I don't have anything on the cards yet for the small one, but I think that's easy enough for me as a beginner. There's not too many mistakes to make, and I've watched a video and you know, where they say, you know, rotate the second block 90 degrees so you don't have seam aligning issues and all of that sort of thing. So I keep bumping the camera, sorry. And then the only other thing on the cards at the moment, now I am an ex-scrapbooker, and one of my favourite designers was Basic Grey. So you can imagine I was extremely excited to discover that they are now designing fabric. So I went a little bit wild when I saw Hustle and Bustle. I will point out this here is a piece of Basic Grey, if I can do it without dropping it. This is like 10 or 12 years old. That I picked it up before I left the UK in a sale. It was in the sale part of the website I was looking on, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. I don't actually know what collection it came from. I never noticed. It's probably somewhere on the piece, on that bit of cardstock, but I loved it so much that I actually framed it. So as I said, imagine my delight when I discovered Basic Grey make fabric. I've gone a bit mad. So I have a jelly roll, a Hustle and Bustle jelly roll. I have 2 charm packs because I didn't know what I was going to do. I was just making sure I had everything. And I have a layer cake. And then again, because I am late to the party, there wasn't a lot of yardage left for me to choose from. I can't even remember what was there now. But what they did have was a backing kit for a quilt. Does it actually say? Backing set for Spreading Joy quilt kit. The quilt kit's not available anymore, but they did still have the backing kit. And this is 5 1/4 yards of coordinating Hustle and Bustle fabric. So I brought it. Now, I do have a quilt in mind, and it's gone from my head. Pinwheels. I'm thinking I'm going to do a pinwheel quilt with a piano key border. I've seen a picture on Pinterest, which I will add in if I can get it to clearly credit somebody. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do with that, and I'll either use the charm packs. I'll probably use the charm packs, I'm not sure. But I don't mind having some basic grey sitting in the stash unused, quite frankly. So, okay. Oh, I forgot about this when I was talking about the Sweetwater stuff. So I found this panel on the Fat Quarter Shop, and this is Sweetwater. It's in the Red Barn series, if you like. So I decided just to get this in case I needed to boost my back again, because I'm not sure how much backing fabric what I need to do is go back through my orders on the Fat Quarter Shop and write out how much I've brought, because it's not marked on the bags how much it is, unless it's a pre-done thing like the basic grey one was. So I just picked this up. It wasn't that much, and it would just extend, except it says it's cotton canvas, so it looks slightly different. I wonder, I haven't opened it, so we'll figure it out. So that is my starting point. So I've got 3 little things to do and 3 bigger things to do, and I would like to have the little things done and at least the Shine On Plus quilt top done by the time the block of the month starts in the middle of the year. So what I'll show you each month is just progress. I'm hoping that the Christmas tree I can actually have finished completely. I'm probably just going to try and quilt that myself on my machine. The bigger quilts I don't think I will look to do. I think I will investigate having them done professionally, subject to cost obviously. So we'll just see. So that is my starting point. This is the beginning of my journey to quilting. Well, that doesn't make sense, but anyway. So, you know, follow along if you are of a like mind. If you have a channel sharing your quilting stuff, drop it down in the comments below. If you have a favourite quilting channel you like to watch, at the moment I have watched the Fat Quarter Shop channel, you know, videos, Laurie Holt, Missouri Star, Erica Aunt, and those are the main ones. If you've got another channel that you like, drop that down in the comments below too, and I'll check it out. I'm interested, and that's not including floss tubers who are doing quilting like Nicole's Needlework and is it Celeste H is the other one I've watched at the moment, and Crosshatch Quilts. So, but you know, anything quilty, throw it in the comments below. I'm more than happy. I want to soak it all up. So I shall document my progress this year. Let's try and finish before I choke. It's not going to happen. One moment. That's annoying. We're so close to the end of the video and I couldn't make it to the end. Anyway, I don't know where this cough has come from. Right, so that is me. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you again sometime in about a month from now. So it's probably going to be sort of the end of each month that I'll put a video up. I've got some things coming in the post at the moment, but after that there's probably not going to be a lot of haul for a little while. I've got enough to be going on with. I'm fighting the urge to buy some more fabric, but I need to rein myself in and use what I've got, because I've got this block of the month starting in the middle of the year. Peppermint Bark, Basic Grays Peppermint Bark release in the middle of the year is absolutely gorgeous, and I probably want to get a fat quarter bundle. I want to up my game. The amount of, you know, with the jelly roll and like this hustle and bustle, the jelly roll and the layer cake and the charm things, I would have been better to have brought a fat quarter bundle, but I am learning that over time. So I need to just put some pennies in the bank and work on what I've got, and then have a little bit of the splurge in the middle of the year when these new lines come out. So anyway, that is me done. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you again in a floss tube sooner and a quilty tube in about a month's time. Thanks everyone. Bye for now.